I want to introduce you to the person who helped us make this happen. And he's the guy who runs this place, owns this place, and he's the best there is. He's the successor to Bill Graham. It's Peter Shapiro.
It's really cool that we can have so many people here, but there's exponentially more people here watching all over the country tonight. And I want to thank Neal's mom, Barbara, who's watching tonight, for having Neal. So let's give it up for that, for Barbara. And I want to thank, oh, those roses are cool. There's someone in California who's probably sitting in his edit room right now. And I want to thank him because without him, you know, I'm not sure we're all here in the same way. Sounds a little heavy, but it's true. When we did the Grateful Dead 50 shows, Fare Thee Well, we knew that you know, the music part and the sound and the lights, you know, that stuff's, the band's got that stuff's pretty easy, but we were like, fuck, what are we gonna do at set break? You know, and they were big shows. They were gonna be longer set breaks. Tonight, we'll keep it short, but, and like the halogen, the fluorescent lights come up at set break, and you're just like, ah! And like, well, we're gonna run some cool videos, but like, what are we gonna do? And I had the great fortune and the luck, and I'm so glad that I got to collaborate with Justin Kreutzmann, who's one of the great filmmakers, great documentarians, did a lot of the videos tonight. And he really made Halftime at Fare Thee Well what it was. And the reason why, and we had beautiful visuals, and but he, one night, late at night, we were on the phone, and he said, we were like, what are we gonna play? You know, what do you play in between two sets of magical music? Like, how do you hold people? And they got the fluorescent lights, and they're freaking out, you know? and he had it was Justin's idea, and his idea was to call his friend Neal Casal. And Neal brought his friends, Dan Horn, Adam McDougall, Mark Levy, and they created at those shows. And it really is, those shows were it's in many ways they led to us here, but a big part of what happened was those shows created Circles Around the Sun. And the way that they took, you know, it's such a challenge, which is, okay, this band just crushed it for 2 hours. Now it's yours for 45 minutes. And I swear, what we heard is those 5 shows rolled over 10 days or a week as it went. More and more what you heard people asking is like, what is that at halftime? What is that at halftime? Who is playing at halftime? Who is playing at separate? That's the truth. And it was Circles Around the Sun. And the next summer, we have a festival in Virginia called LOCKN, and we have a forest that's named after Jerry, for Garcia's Forest, and now it's Robert's Forest too. But we invited, you know, we just planned to do this halftime music, and it took off, and we're like, guys, you need to do a show. And the first show that Circles Around the Sun, we are so, it's true, honored that they did that in the forest at LOCKN in August of 2016, the next summer. And just to show how Neal's life is a circle around the sun, and you cannot make this shit up, they played 2 shows in the forest in Virginia. And the first one they did in the summer 2016, and then the next time they came to visit us was just a month ago. On August 22nd, 2019, they played the Forest. And what is amazing is they ended up playing the first gig they had ever played with Neal, Circles Around the Sun, and the last gig. And those are the 2 gigs they did in the Forest. And if you know, and that is the true meaning of a circle around the sun. They started it and they ended it in that way. But by the way, I really hope, and those guys are listening, that we are gonna see more from Circles, and that's what Neal wanted. But what I want to say tonight, it's always gonna be Jerry's Forest, but from here on, the stage, if we can bring it up, we're gonna do a plaque, and from now on, that plaque's gonna be on the stage. From now on, that is Neal's stage at Garcia's Forest, A Circle Around the Sun, August 26, 2016, August 22nd, 2019. So when you come to the forest, that's Neal's stage. And I know tonight in Virginia, there's no one in that forest except for Jerry and for Neal. And that's the truth.